Okay, pin 10 and pin 19. I'm hooked to pin 10 and pin 19. Well, this is actually pin 19, but pin 10 and 19 is supposed to have voltage in the TCM. Now, if you saw when I was on 10, something was strange to me. It didn't have enough voltage there. So, when I turn this on, it shows 0.56 volts. And my understanding is it should be 12 volts coming from the TIPM. So therefore now I'm going to have to go to the TIPM and find out how come you see it's steady going up and up. How come it's not 12 volts like it's supposed to be, and it's 0.7 volts. Now this circuit, when I was looking at it, goes now went up some more. Something is wrong there. It's steady climbing and climbing. Now it went to 1 point something volts. Something is wrong and causing it not to get to full 12 volts. So now that I come across this by checking the pins, the ground and the power on this TCM, I can't say the TCM is bad, because something is not sending power to it. So let me move around to the front where the TIPM is, where this wire comes from the TIPM to it. It goes to a lot of circuits. It even go to the speed sensors and rain sensor. So I want to see what is going on. What I'm going to do is take it from the TIPM and I'm going to put 12 volts to it with a fused wire and see if I can get 12 volts to show down here where I am. If I can get 12 volts to show here, then there's something wrong up there by with the TIPM probably. But if I still can't get 12 volts to show, even though I'm going to put 12 volts in the circuit, then there's going to be something wrong in the wiring somewhere, some resistance somewhere. So let me go to the TIPM. Here. Okay, I'm here. I'm going to take this off. Alright, in this TIPM, I'm going to take this part off. Where are you? Come out. One of those wires that goes to there is in here. I'm getting to this one here. Okay, now you have this yellow one. This yellow wire with the orange stripe. That's the one supposed to be sending the 12 volts down there to the battery. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this jumper wire, and I am going to put 12 volts here. And I'm going to take this in and put it right on the battery. Then I'm going to go to the other side and see if it has 12 volts down there, and I should. No, it's showing 0.8. Okay, there is some what this means is I got to take all these wires apart. Somewhere in the wiring there is some corrosion. Oh boy, I tell you. Now I got to go take fenders, everything. Look, it's moving up to 1.08. It should be that's terrible. Terrible. Now I got a lot of work to do. I got to take the fender, some apart, trace this wire down because it goes to just one. It don't only go to one thing. If it did, I can just run a wire. It goes to the output speed, trans range, all sorts of junk. But it should show 12 volts. So there's some resistance, corrosion, something somewhere in this wire. Darn. Steady going up. So the computer is not bad. I can't say the computer is bad yet. Can't say the transmission is bad. And cannot say the TIPM is bad. That's definitely corrosion. Those little electrons are trying to push their way through there too. See them? I wish they did push themselves through there. Hurry up and push it through. Push yourself through. Alright. I'm here at the computer here. Right here we have the totally integrated power module right there, and these are the wires I'm checking, 19 and 10. And they connect together there and go to the transmission range sensor, and then they go down. It shows a dotted line. And they connect to the output speed sensor. Let's see what else. The input speed sensor on the transmission. The output, that's the output, that's the input speed. And then looking at this one right here. Then it goes over to the computer. Here, and there's another one right here. That's pin 19 and pin 10. Okay, now this is where I was checking where it didn't have any voltage there. I put 12 volts to it. Now what I didn't do, which I am going to do, I want to see where the extent of this problem is. If it's after or before or what. So I'm going to check the transmission range sensor. I'm going to hook the battery back up. I got to disconnect. I'm going to hook the battery back up and hook that power back up and see if I'm getting 12 volts right there at that yellow and orange wire here at the transmission range sensor. I'm going to see, or I'm gonna look to see if I'm getting it also at the output speed sensor, which is the yellow and orange, is still the transmission control out. So I'm going to see if I'm getting there, any power there. So, or should I say voltage? Let's see. I've already taken all this apart here, so I can start tracing some things down. So I got all of this here apart. All in here, and I got this apart. Got the battery box out, and I took that output speed sensor out the back right here because it has this orange wire right here. The input is underneath there. The transmission range is right there. So I'm going to just set the battery back in here, and then I'm gonna hook this back up, this thing here, and then I'm gonna test there to see if I'm getting any voltage there. I don't have to hook this up. I can just run 12 volts here. and then see if I'm getting it out of here, out of there, or out of there. That lets me know what I have to do. Alright, so let me go through doing that. Okay, I'm showing 12 volts here. What I did, I turned ignition on, I went underneath there, which I didn't do it in the first time, but it's showing 12 volts coming out of there. When I test the output speed sensor, it shows 12 volts coming out of there. So I just move this out the way. Stick it in there. You can see 12 volts coming out of there. Where is it? Coming out of there. So the output speed sensor is getting this 12 volts. This module is putting out the 12 volts. It's not getting to the computer. Now I'm going to check to see if the transmission range sensor is getting its 12 volts, and also if the input speed sensor is getting its 12 volts. If they're getting 12 volts, then that break is going to be somewhere where it sends the voltage to the TCM.